This is my Lego City monorail, and I know it's not strictly a monorail. I know it's more of a elevated light rail that runs on a roller coaster track, but I'm going to call it a monorail because that's what I like. Now, this was based off the design from JK Brickworks, which I'll link down below. He designed this engine for the powered up motor, and it works really well. And he's just phenomenal the way he designed it. So, super happy. This is my own design. It's pretty rough at the moment. It's got the powered up box inside. That's why there's the green light. It's kind of a prototype. I didn't finish building it. I spent some time on the engine, trying to make it look the same as this carriage, but I don't know. I just couldn't find something that I was happy with. I tried making it into like a steampunk kind of pulling locomotive type thing. I just haven't been happy. I do like the doors here, the way that this looks. And I don't like building in white too much, but I do like the white for this. Now let me show you how it works. So I really wanted to incorporate the monorail into my city, and we ended up with this, and I'll come back to that. But it has gone through some iterations. The first iteration was actually over here at the launch facility. We had a little line going from in there out to here. And it was kind of for the astronauts to basically get to the rocket. So it wasn't really a monorail, it's more just a means of specialized transportation for the astronauts and engineers. But then I wanted to put in the rock area, and it didn't really connect up with the space area, so I decided to scrap that idea. And so then I would have loved to have had the monorail running all around. And I think it would have been amazing just to see it running along there in the background and looping around. But there was a few challenges if I was going to put it through the whole city. The first reason is that while the track is only 4 wide, the carriages are 6. And there's not really a way to get around that. And that means that if I was going to build the line looping around, I'd have to have a gap of 6 wide here, or say over there, to let the monorail go around. Now, six studs doesn't sound too much, but then I'm going to need one at the other end. So that's 12 studs wide that I need to leave for the monorail. And that's like quite a bit, Like that's a building that's bigger than this building. And I just like to make some mocks here rather than reserve 12 studs for a monorail. The second issue is that my modulars are up against the wall here. So once again, I'd have to move the whole layout 12 studs forward. And well, you see, I'm already on the edge here. I don't really have much more room. It might be feasible, but that is a little more difficult to move everything forward. If I was to move everything forward, that'd be good because I could actually do some higher facades and better facades. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. That might be a project, down the line, a couple of years maybe. Who knows? So the third and final problem is the height that I would need the rail at. Now, when I first thought about this, we didn't have the bridge. But still, you'd need the track to be above minifigure height around here. If it was going through here somewhere and around the back, you'd still need this to be at higher than the minifigures. You couldn't have it down there. Could you? Maybe. Would this then become a real light rail? But then, okay, so the track would come around here, and then you got the bridge, Maybe I could build it into the bridge, but Preferably, I'd like it to go over the bridge. Now, if I'm going over the bridge, some of the cars are quite high, so it would need to stand up. And that just puts it at quite a high level compared to the rest of the city. And you'd have to have these big supports. And I just don't know how it would look. If it would block part of the city having these huge supports for this elevated rail. And then you'd come into here and the station would be quite high. This would be a 3-story station. And then once again, you'd wrap it around here over the road. It'd still have to be pretty high. So that's the problem. I guess I could build it into the roads and make it at this height. But I still have problems 1 and 2. So I ended up settling with this. This way I could have the monorail in the city, but it didn't really impact anything and it wasn't a huge construction program. And I got rid of the engine, I got rid of the power functions because I liked it better just looking like this one car. And, potentially we can use our imagination and say that this is the station and then it goes off to another station, different part of town, off that way. Now, I'm redesigning the station. So this is the end of the line for the monorail, so to speak. Taking this off and we're getting rid of the platform here. But I thought I'd just give you a little look inside. You can see I've got a nice plant in there, a nice chair. On this side over here, we have a bit of this was the way to get in, and that was the ticket gate there. And then in there, if you can see, there's a ticketing machine. Not my best mock, but still gave the idea of it. I liked how these supports came out. Roof could be better. Still, I was reasonably happy with it. Got some lights on the other side that dangle down. And then coming over here, this was a operable elevator. And down here, you could move it up and down. It's not really working at the moment. I will keep that in the new station, but this part is done. And this part will be going soon. And that is the sad end to the monorail in my Lego city. It won't be in the new design for the station platform here. But, it still lives on in my heart, hopefully in your heart as well. Maybe one day we'll see it somewhere else in the city, another iteration of it. The last thing I wanted to mention is that in one of my city videos, one of the comments mentioned that I could have the monorail wrap around and end or go in that way. And you know what? I think that's actually a really good idea. I hadn't thought of it, and I really appreciate the thought. But for me, it's just not the direction I wanted to go. It'd just take up a bit too much room. And for now, the monorail is going. It will be no more in my city. Well, thanks for listening to me ramble on about Lego monorails. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. What can I do? What should I do? Any suggestions? I read them all and I really appreciate them. All right, catch you later, legends.